Okay, I'm going to be doing a Blood Death Knight guide here. I want to point out that it is Necrotic this week. It is teaming and Necrotic. And so for Necrotic, teaming doesn't really matter. It's just more mobs. So I don't really need to worry about that, other than maybe taking a pull a little bit slower. And then Necrotic is my biggest worry here. And so I've taken the talent Tightening Grip, which is good for Gorfine's Grasp, but it's also mainly for the Death and Decay slow. And so basically my strategy here is going to be, anytime I get high stacks, I'm just going to Death and Decay, and then I'm going to try to kite. After the run, I'll go over the rest of the talents and why I take them, but there's some, you can make some changes with Blood Decay. It's not just like one spec for everything. But so this is a 9, I believe. So there's the only two affixes: a teaming Necrotic. It's not a it's not fortified or tyrannical. But so I'm gonna pull two groups here. It might hurt a little bit, but it should be totally fine. So I'm gonna use my Dancing Rune Weapon. I'm gonna Mass Grip here, just so I get aggro on everything. I'm waiting to see. Okay, I'm gonna Arcane Torrent that because they were casting the Disorient, and I don't want that to happen. I'm gonna interrupt that one. You want to be focusing off of the bats here. Those are the ones that disorient. So you want to be able to interrupt that. So I'm gonna wait for my 17 stack to fall off here before I pull. The group is a little bit antsy here, but I'm not gonna get. Don't get pressured into pulling early, okay? I mean, there's some reasons, there's some like cases where you'd want to pull with a Necrotic stack still up, but don't get pressured just because the group is sitting there. Mostly because they're stupid DPS and they don't really understand the Necrotic mechanic, and so they just see you sitting there like, whoa, why can't I DPS? So, I mean, there's some DPS. I'm not saying every DPS is stupid, but it's a general rule. So I just pulled this because it's padding. So I'm gonna AMS here so that my my Necrotic stack can fall off here, and it did fall off. They're not perfectly grouped, but it's all right. So I'm actually gonna grip this one. Oh wow, I didn't click it. Whoops. I was trying to group it in just for a little bit tighter cleave, but it's all right. So I'm pretty low stack here. Okay, cool. So my Necrotic is gonna fall off, so I can just instantly pull this. I've yet to kite. I'm only gonna kite when I'm probably like over 20 stacks. Otherwise, just stay in and help DPS and just kind of do your best to stay alive. I'm gonna grip this one back in after it charged out, just for a little bit more DPS uptime, more cleave. I'm gonna mount up here just so that I can get to the next pull quickly. I like pulling these next two groups together if possible. The two 3-packs. Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt that just to get them over here. So the other 2-pack that Pat's like right here where my mouse is, it's not here right now. So just gonna pull this one by itself. This group actually can hurt quite a bit because of the dogs, the panthers or whatever that pounce. Interrupt that. Okay, so I'm actually taking quite a bit of damage here, although I don't have any room to kite, so I'm just gonna sit here and face take the damage. Okay, so I got a Guardian Angel, or Spirit, which was not needed, but I respect it. Wow, that guy was so close to pulling that back. I'm just making sure here that everyone's gonna get past that group, and they're not gonna. So I'm actually gonna pull this just for kill count, but basically, I don't know. I mean, everyone kind of runs a little bit differently for kill count. Some people skip certain packs. I'm actually gonna come over here and I'm gonna grip. So there's one out, and I didn't have a single grip anymore. I'm just gonna pull this, mostly because I just feel like it's kind of a waste of time just to kill 2 mobs at once. It's just slow. No one wants to use any cooldowns because it's only a 2-pack, and so I'm just gonna pull 4. You can basically kill 4 in the time that it takes you to kill 2 anyway. So I'm gonna wait 1 second here for my debuff. All right, come in. I'm actually gonna pull these up against this gate. It's a little inconvenient for the DPS, but once you go up to the gate, then the RP starts for the boss, and I want to get him spawned. So this is hurting a little bit. I'm not gonna use any cooldowns here though. I could AMS to drop my stacks, but we're completely fine. So here, basically, one thing you want to kind of like debate is whether to use your cooldowns on bosses like Dancing Rune Weapon. I'm going to choose to hold it here. I'm not going to use it, mostly because I want to pull 2 packs after the boss, and you know, Blood DK single target is very low, and your damage wise, and this boss isn't going to kill me. There's no way. I mean, I could kill this boss without a healer. And so I want to make sure that I have Dancing Rune Weapon up for the big pull that I'm about to do. One, for more damage, and also just for survivability. So that's something you kind of want to ask yourself. And that goes for pretty much every tank is, do I want to use like my big cooldown here on a boss, or do I want to use it on a trash pull that I feel like could maybe use, could be better used there. So again, I'm going to hold it here. And if it's, you know, if it's like a 1 minute cooldown, then go ahead and pop it, because it's going to take you 1 minute to do it anyway. But Dancing Rune is a 3 minute, so I'm going to choose to hold it. I did use Bone Storm here. I am expecting to Bone Storm. I really like it for, I'm going to go over the talents later, but I am taking Bone Storm for this run. I'm going to wait for, okay, so my Necrotic fell off. So I'm going to pull this, and then I'm going to do something pretty ballsy here. I'm going to pull it with this group. This could actually be a really bad idea, but I just kind of want to pull these together. So I'm going to try to get a good mass grip here. I got a decent one off. So here, I'm going to wait until I get about 20 stacks, which is pretty soon here. And then I'm going to AMS. Okay, so I'm going to AMS here. And hopefully it doesn't break before this falls off. Okay, so I did get a reset there. That's really big for this. Yeah, this is actually probably a little ambitious here. So I'm going to start kiting now. My healer is in his form, so I'm going to toss him a res actually. Actually, wow, that lasts a long time. So I'm going to get a reset here. Again, I'm just kiting with Death and Decay up. Okay, I'm going to come back in. Pop another D&D down just for damage, and I don't need to kite anymore. I should be able to survive the rest of this pack. My healer is dead. I'm not going to res him just because the res is so close. And hopefully he just recognizes that. And okay, so at this point I'm going to start kiting. I'm at pretty high stacks. My healer's not releasing. I'm going to type to him to release because I don't want to use my battle res. And see, look, I mean, with Death and Decay down, like, it's totally fine. So I'm going to come back in, and I'm just going to, like, okay, so this guy, I mean, literally the respawn is right here. So this healer is just pretty clueless. He doesn't really understand that he could have just released and been back. Okay, the question here is, do I want to pull these two groups together? I think I do. I do want to pull these two groups together. I am going to wait for my healer, though. Because he's just... Okay, I guess he feels like a food buff is really important right now. So I'm going to pull these together. This is like a perfect spot to pull them together. And I'm just going to mass grip right here just for... to get them all stacked and so the damage can... Okay, cool. We got a Mind Bomb there, so we got an AoE stun. I'm going to use Bone Storm here. I'm going to AMS, and I'm going to stand in these flowers, these mushrooms here. So that's going to be two things. Actually, my AMS has already fallen off because I exploded those two mushrooms. So at this point, I'm going to kite. I'm at 31 stacks, which is, I think that's unhealable, 93%. So I'm just going to be kiting here until it falls off. It's almost off. Okay, I'm going to come back in, put a D&D down. I'm going to grip this Dryad in over here, just so that he can get cleaved down. I'm actually going to put a stun on him too. I don't really have any defensive cooldowns here. I'm pretty fresh out, so I'm going to put a D&D down. I'm going to get prepared to kite, although it's not at that point yet. I don't think I'll need to kite here. I still have consumption, so I can still use that. I'll just pop it right now, actually. It does pretty good AoE damage. So I'm trying to keep up my bone shield stacks. Trying to keep those up pretty high, especially in between packs. It makes it a lot better to go into a pack with a fresh bone shield. So I'm gonna just pull this by itself. Mostly because it's really far away from the next packs, and I'm just not really interested in, you know, kiting it all the way down and trying to maintain aggro on all this stuff. So we'll just kill this real quick, even though, you know, I hate pulling small groups. Use my free D&D, grip this back in just for more cleave. Okay, mount up here. Make sure that my stack is going to fall off. It's easily going to fall off here, but you just want to just make sure that Necrotic isn't getting out of control. So I'm actually going to run by this one. I didn't want to dismount because these ones are pretty far away, so I ran by it to aggro it. I'm going to get all these, taunt this one in, put a D&D down. I'm going to Mass Grip here. Mass Grip is a pretty low cooldown, especially with Tightening Grip. I'm going to Bone Storm here for damage. I'm going to Arcane Torrent because they're all casting. Interrupt that. Keep you want a Blood Boil basic on cooldown. I mean, you can sit on one stack, but there's no reason to sit on 2 stacks. So hopefully I get dispelled here. Okay, I'm not going to. So I'm just not going to run back in there. Let my my stacks reset. Pull the boss again. I'm thinking, do I want to use Dancing Rune Weapon here? This boss can hurt kind of bad, but I'm probably just going to pull this entire next room, to be honest. We're going pretty fast, but I'm going to pull the entire next room. So I'm going to Dancing Rune Weapon there and just save it. So I do want to make sure... I'm going to AMS this. There's 2 reasons for that. So I AMS the Nightbear Breath damage, and then I'm also going to be dropping my Necrotic stack for this Crushing Grip, because it is pretty big tank damage, and I wanted to make sure that I'm able to get fully healed there. It was only a 4 stack, but I still wanted to get full heals. I wanted the healer heals, and then also you know, it affects my heals as well. So so I'm gonna sit on Bone Storm here. It's coming up here, or it's already up, but I'm gonna sit on it again for the next big pull that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that I have high Bone Shield, so I have 7 stacks right now. And then I'm just gonna pull. I'm gonna watch. Okay, so I saw someone casting on these. So I'm actually just gonna use my. I used my Dancing Rune Weapon here. I wanted to pull more, but I saw someone casting, and I did not want to have that, you know, the freaking aggro problem where I'm trying to pull more, but someone's gonna just go full ham on these ads here. So I'm not pulling this ideally, but drop down to D&D here. What I'm watching here is that none of them cast the Metamorphosis, or I think that's what it's called. That's the most important thing here. I'm going to wait for my stacks to fall off, and then I'm probably just going to pull everything else. So I can start heading in here. Okay. I'm going to like try to grip this, and hopefully I can, okay, good. So I was able to tag all the mobs there. I'm going to get a fat consumption here. Okay, so I got knocked out of range. So I'm going to AMS here. Oh boy, this is actually not good. I'm going to throw a stun on this, throw it on a D&D, and I'm going to just kite. I'm in a lot of trouble here, actually. And I might just die. Yep. Okay, so that was my bad. So I did get it right as good. That was my bad. I got knocked out of range of the consumption right as I popped it. It's actually just like you don't need a target to do it. It's just kind of like what's in front of you. So that was my bad. I misplayed it. So let me, I'm going to be ready to interrupt the Metamorphosis, but none of them casted it. Here I'm just going to wait for this thing to pad, obviously. So better use of time. Man, I'm disappointed that I did that. I let my Necrotic stack get out of control too. I had like 40 stacks, which is well over 100% healing reduction. So I played that pretty poorly, and it's unfortunate, and I paid my life for it. So I'm gonna pull this over here. What you want to do is you want to pull this over here to the gate. Oh man, I didn't mean to pull that whelp. But you want to pull it to the gate so that when he does like his wind, that the range can get out of range of it, so they don't get knocked back while casting. So here I just moved for the breath. So for this,